In this video, I will be describing 6 different ways that we can create perspective. So the first thing that I want you to do is get a piece of paper, fold it in half lengthwise. This is called the hot dog fold. And then open it back up and fold it into thirds. So you want to have 6, you want to end up with 6 sections of paper. They don't have to be perfect and even. We just want 6 different areas to draw in. I will be using a Sharpie to draw today because it's easier to see on the video. You can use a pencil. So when we're talking about perspective, magic, and methods, do some pictures look like windows through which you can see in the distance, like you're looking out a window? These pictures are a visual method called perspective. Since Italian Renaissance times, artists have learned to use a series of rules to create the illusion of depth on a flat surface. So there's 6 methods we use to create the illusion of depth. Number 1, you can even put a number 1 at the top of your page, is lines. I'm going to actually write it. And I'm going to pretend like this is my square. You know what? Even where I folded, I'm going to draw lines so I can keep my 6 methods separated. Lines converge at one point on the horizon line. So the parallel lines get closer together as they recede into the distance. So the first thing you'll do is draw your horizon line. It might have a bump, maybe it's a mountain. And you want to have 2 lines. They're getting closer together as they go into the distance. So this is the bottom of the picture plane. As they go towards the distance, they're closer together. So that's number 1. Number 2 is size. Objects are known to be the same size, appear to get smaller and closer as they recede into the distance. So a good example of this is a fence. So if you drew a fence right here, it would have like these wood posts and maybe like a wire holding it together. These would all be about the same size if we're looking at them straight on. But if they're receding into the distance, your posts start to get smaller as they go back. So as I'm going back into the distance, here's my horizon line. They're going to get smaller and closer together where you almost can't see them. So they're big right here, and as they go back, they get smaller. The third one is called placement. Objects that are lower in the picture appear to be closer to the viewer, and objects that are near the horizon appear to be distant. So again, I'm just going to draw my horizon line, and we'll do trees for this one. So here's a tree in the distance. It's small. Here is a tree that is near the viewer. It's going to be larger. And if there's a tree in the middle ground, it'll be like a medium size. And again, at the bottom of the picture plane, things are larger. That symbolizes they're closer. At the back of the picture, they're smaller, and that signifies they're farther away. So we're doing well. Number 4 is called overlapping. You can write down that one. Overlapping is just shapes that appear to be behind or in front of other shapes, and that gives you a sense of space. For this example, I'll draw like a tabletop. I'm leaving space for my objects. I'm gonna draw a big gallon container, like a pot in the front. And then behind that, I'll draw a bowl. And because I've used overlapping, it just looks like this bowl is behind this picture. Maybe I'll give a little decorative edge on the picture. Picture of milk in olden times, I guess. Number 5 is called texture or details. And this one says that like grass or stones are clear and recognizable in the foreground, but they could be fuzzy in the distance. So that's just going back to this one where maybe there's a fence going back to a horizon line. So let's pretend that we have a fence. Again, those fence posts are big and clear here and getting smaller as they go back. So that's saying if you have grass, you can see every blade of grass here at the bottom or the foreground of the picture. But as you get back in the back, it's smaller. And all the way back here, you can just even barely see the grass. It's just blurry. But up here, it's very clear. You can almost see every blade of grass. So that's texture or details. And number 6, the last one is called fading. It shows distance because the farther away things are, the paler they become. The horizon is lightest in value and the foreground is the darkest in value. So in this example, the horizon line, there's some mountains in the back and they're just very lightly shaded. But there's a big boulder or a rock that's in the foreground. This is like maybe there's a lizard sleeping on this rock. The rock is going to be at the bottom of the picture frame, closer to you. The mountains are farther away at the top. And you make everything darker. So the shading on the rock or this boulder is going to be a lot darker. I'm filling it in so that it looks like it's a rock that's closer to me. It's going to have more details, some little bumps. Okay, so those are your 6 types of perspective. Please use some of those in the artwork that you're making today. Bye.